All right, so we are starting today in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. Okay. Now it shall be, if you diligently obey the Lord your God, being careful to do all his commandments, which I command you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. All these blessings will come upon you and overtake you if you obey the Lord your God. Isn't that an interesting thought, though? The overtake you mean there would be so many blessings you just wouldn't know what to do with everything you had, everything you could attain. And that's what our God is capable of. And they had that option of just follow these rules and, well, you're going to have everything you could ever imagine, basically. Blessed shall you be in your city, and blessed shall be in your country. Blessed shall be the offspring of your body, and the produce of your ground, and the offspring of your beasts, the increase of your herd, and the young of your flock. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. Basically, all encompassing there, right? So it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to be blessed. The Lord shall cause your enemies who rise up against you to be defeated before you. They will come out against you one way and will flee before you 7 ways. The Lord will command the blessing upon you in your barns and in all that you do, or that you put your hand to. He will bless you in the land which the Lord your God gives you. The Lord will establish you as a holy people to himself, as he swore to you, if you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways. So all they have to do is follow the rules. And technically, as we've talked about this before, they have so much fewer rules than what we have just as U.S. citizens. So much fewer rules than we have in the state of Tennessee. I mean, really, you get down to it, it's less rules than what you have at a county level. That's all they had to follow. So all the people of the earth will come see that you are called by the name of the Lord. They will be afraid of you. The Lord will make you abound in prosperity in the offspring of your body and in your offspring of your beasts, in the produce of your ground, and the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give you. The Lord will open for you his good storehouse, the heavens, to give rain to your land in its season, and to be blessed all the work of your hands. And you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. Wasn't that a nice thought? Wouldn't you all like that? Maybe, I don't know, say current day in the U.S., maybe we lent instead of borrowed. Wouldn't that be something? The thing is, most of the people that buy our debt are debtors themselves. It's one of those, why are you buying when you can't? I don't understand that. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's kind of a good example. But it's also really nice to know he's even going to take care of the rains in the right seasons. And I say that because all of y'all that have dealt with hay, how's it been this year? Last year it was so dry you didn't have anything. This year there's so much rain you can't even get out and cut it all. That's why it's important to have rain in its season. And I think those of us that didn't grow up farming and doing that stuff, you just think, oh, it's a nice rainy day. What's the big deal? Yeah, there's still food on the shelf in Kroger, so everything must be okay. I mean, that's how I grew up in the city for the first 12 years of my life. Everything's just there. What does it matter whether it's raining or not? I didn't correlate it. But for them, keep in mind, this is how they survived. And they'd already survived 40 years in the desert off God providing everything. You know, even their clothes didn't even wear out. Their sandals didn't wear out. And how they were walking all the time, right? Sandals didn't even wear out. God took care of everything. And this is just another extension of that no, I'm going to take care of everything. Rain, just obey me, The rain will be in the correct seasons. You're just going to prosper. That's all there is to it. Bottom line. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. And you will be above and you will not be underneath. If you listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I charge you today, to observe them carefully, and do not turn aside from any of the words which I command you today, to the right or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. And yet, what do? And you know me, I'm always talking about how is it now? Sorry, I should say, how is it here in the Bible, and how is it working out for Israel today? So he said he's going to bless them. They're going to be lending to all the nations. They're going to be the ones that control everything. They're going to be numerous because they're going to be blessed by their livestock, by their body of their own, or offspring of their own body. How's the nation of Israel compared to other nations today?
They haven't followed what he told them they had to do.
Which says it all. That's my whole point, is what he said is what's happened, right? Did they follow his rules? No. He went so far as to kill his son. So, and still they had options. Turn and follow Christ. But they're still practicing Judaism. Go figure, right? I mean, I just think it's obviously prophetic because it's from God, but I'm just trying to point out that no, what they've said hasn't happened. Now, we've talked about all the good things that God can do for you, or can do for them. Now we get to talk about what's going to happen if you choose not to follow. You choose to disobey. And this is where it gets kind of interesting here, because you'll find that as I start reading these, he even starts discussing things that they haven't done yet that you know they're going to do. Like having their own king sometime, and then what that king is going to end up doing to them. So they've been warned on all this, and yet they still do it. Why? Because you don't study the past, you're going to repeat it, right? That's the way things go. But it shall come about, if you do not obey the Lord your God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes with which I charge you today, that all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. Cursed shall be in your city, and cursed shall you be in the country. Cursed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed shall be the offspring of your body, and the produce of your ground, the increase of your herd, and the young of your flock. Cursed shall you be when you come in. Cursed shall you be when you go out. The Lord will send upon you curses, confusion, and rebuke in all you do, until you are destroyed, and until you perish quickly on account of the evil of your deeds, because you have forsaken me. The Lord will make the pestilence cling to you until he has consumed you from the land where you are entering to possess it. The Lord will smite you with your consumption, and with fever, and with inflammation, and with fiery heat, and with the sword, and with blight, and with mildew, and they will pursue you until you perish. I mean, really, how much further has he got to go? I mean, really, doesn't that sound like that's enough? Oh, he's just getting started. Why? Because, again, God controls it all. If he wants to be good, he can be good to you. He can provide everything. If he wants to be bad to you, oh, he can do that too. You'll wish you were dead before you're dead. The heaven which is over your head shall be bronze, and the earth which is under you will be iron. So basically, bright sun, no rain, and any of you ever do gardening? You ever go buy a house that's already got a garden? Oh, that's going to be great. I got a spot for a garden. You go out there, well, I just want to make it a few more feet wider this way, a few feet deeper this way. You go out there, you got the tiller going, you hit it all of a sudden, everything stops. Like, okay, you back up, you start the tiller again, you go, yeah, that's been cultivated for a while. It's good soil. It's ready to go. That new stuff, that's going to take a while to break in. That's what they're talking about. There will be no tilling. And again, if you've done any gardening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Lord will make the rain of your land powder and dust from heaven. It shall come down on you until you are destroyed. And think about going to history here. In the 1940s, you had the Dust Bowl, right? So you had a whole section of land, crops, nothing was growing. It was just dust. There was no rain. You had huge problems with, food supply for quite a while back then. And that's why. And that gives you an example of reality of where you have this happen to you. That we've seen that in this country. The Lord shall cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You will go out one way against them, but you will flee 7 ways before them. And you will be an example of terror to all the kingdoms of the earth. Your carcasses will be food to all birds of the sky and to all the beasts of the earth, and there will be no one to frighten them away. And that's pretty harsh. I mean, think about it. We talked about this earlier with the land they're going into. When they're going in, you can't go in and kill all these people, because if you did, you need them to flee. If they did, think about how many wild beasts. That population is just going to go nuts, right? The coyotes, come on, you all live around here. You know coyotes are out there. All those coyotes out there, they're going to multiply like nobody's business. They're going to be out there everywhere, and they're going to go in and would end up eating up the nation of Israel in part, right? Unless God directed them not to. So the idea was God was driving them away, so you didn't have these problems. And here it's like, oh no, they're going to feast on you. This is a different way. You don't obey me. They're going to feast. And there'll be nobody to help you. The Lord will smite you with the boils of Egypt, and with tumors, and with the scab, and with the itch from which you cannot be healed. The Lord will smite you with madness, and with blindness, and with bewilderment of heart, and you will grope at noon as the blind man gropes in darkness, and you will not prosper in your ways, but you shall be oppressed and robbed continually with none to save you. You shall betroth a wife, but another man will violate her. You shall build a house, but you will not live in it. You shall plant a vineyard, but you will not use its fruit. Your ox shall be slaughtered before your eyes, but you will not eat of it. Your donkey shall be torn away from you, and will not be restored to you. Your sheep will be given to your enemies, and you will have none to save you. In some ways, isn't this what they're about to do to the people they're going to kick out of their land, out of the promised land? I think that's an interesting point, because they're doing this God's obviously helping them, but they're about to do some of this, not all the boils and all that, but as far as the taking their animals, having their houses taken away, their vineyards taken away, all of this. And God's basically telling them, look, this could happen to you. Right now, the shoe's on the other foot, you're okay, but keep in mind, you're supposed to be obeying me. Just kind of put it in perspective is all. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people while your eyes look on and yearn for them continually. But there will be nothing you can do. A people whom you do not know shall eat up the produce of your ground and of all your labors, and you will never be anything but oppressed and crushed continuously. You shall be driven mad by the sight of what you see. The Lord will strike you on the knees and on the legs with sore boils from which you cannot be healed, from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. The Lord will bring you and your king, whom you set over you, to a nation which neither of your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone. Now, you notice in your Bibles, we're just now getting closer to the end of this. Look at how much he talked about the good things versus how long we're talking about the bad. That's a big difference. You shall become a horror, a proverb, and a taunt among all the people where the Lord drives you. You shall bring out much seed to the field, but you will gather in little, for the locust will consume it. You shall plant and cultivate vineyards, but you will neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm will devour them. You shall have olive trees throughout your territory, but you will not anoint yourself with the oil, for your olives will drop off. You shall have sons and daughters, but they will not be yours, for they will go into captivity. The cricket shall possess all your trees and the produce of your ground. The alien who is among you shall rise above you higher and higher, but you will go down lower and lower. He shall lend to you, but you will not lend to him. He shall be the head, and you will be the tail. Doesn't sound too promising, does it? And we're still going. I mean, I think Yahweh's trying to make his point here, but we already know how that comes out. We can look at today. We don't have to read the whole Bible at this point for that answer. So all these curses shall come on you and pursue you and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you would not obey the Lord your God by keeping his commandments and his statutes with which he commanded you. They shall become a sign and a wonder on you and your descendants forever, because you did not serve the Lord your God with joy and a glad heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore you shall serve your enemy whom the Lord will send against you, in hunger and thirst and nakedness and in lack of things, and he will put an iron yoke on your neck until he has destroyed you. The Lord will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as the eagle swoops down, a nation whose language you shall not understand, a nation of fierce countenance who will have no respect for the old, no show favor to the young. Moreover, it shall eat the offspring of your herd and the produce of your ground until you are destroyed, who also leaves you no grain, new wine, or oil, nor the increase of your herd, or the young of your flock, until they have caused you to perish. It shall besiege you in all your towns until your high and fortified walls in which you trusted come down throughout your land. It shall besiege you in all your towns throughout your land, which the Lord your God has given you. So think about it this way. They're getting to walk in to towns that they didn't build. Fortified, walled cities, they didn't build, but they get to live in them. He's saying, if you disobey me, all that's going away. We're getting rid of it. It's gone. You understand that, right? Here are the consequences of your actions. If you go against me, it's all going away. And not just you'll get kicked out. No, the fortified walls are coming down. You're going to have to rebuild it and do all the work yourself. So you got to think about this has more than a one-sided meaning of, okay, yeah, you're going to lose all this. No, you're not just going to be kicked out. No, it's gone. You can't get it back. It is gone. I'm going to destroy it or have it destroyed, however. Then you shall eat the offspring of your own body, the flesh of your sons and of your daughters, whom the Lord your God has given you during the siege and the distress by which your enemy who oppresses you. The man who is refined and very delicate among you shall be hostile towards his brother and towards the wife he cherishes and towards the rest of his children who remain, so that he will not give even one of them any of the flesh of his children, which he will eat, since he has nothing else left. During the siege and the distress by which your enemy will oppress you in all your towns. The refined and delicate woman among you, who would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground for delicateness and refinement, shall be hostile towards the husband she cherishes and towards her son and daughter. And the afterbirth which issues from between her legs and towards her children, whom she bears, for she will eat them secretly for lack of anything else, during the siege and the distress by which your enemies will oppose you in your towns. So we're talking the point of going to cannibalism. That's how far he's going to take it. So the only thing you've got, you're going to have to kill one of your kids to eat if you want to eat today.
Sounds like Donner.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got no choice left. It's either you all die or one of you dies and the rest eat. What do you want to do? Are you going to start with the smallest or are you going to start with the biggest? What do you want to do? But you're going to eat your own kids. Cannibalism. We're to that point. That's how far Yahweh is going to push them into depravity if they do not follow him. because he's made an agreement with them, and they've all agreed. They stood at the base of the mountain and said, yes, yes, we will do this. We will be your people.
If all this didn't make somebody sit up and listen, I don't think nothing could.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And this is something where it just, I think it goes to such an extreme to show how far he's going to go against them. Why in the world would we want to turn? I understand making a mistake, but, well, I'm just going to change my lifestyle and I'm going to go do what I want. You idiot, you fool. What are you thinking? And yet people still do that today. Things haven't changed much, huh? Sad. If you are not careful to observe all the words of the law which are written in this book, to fear this honored and awesome name, the Lord your God, then the Lord will bring extraordinary plagues on you and your descendants, even severe and lasting plagues and miserable and chronic sickness. He will bring back on you all the diseases of Egypt of which you are afraid, and they will cling to you. Also, every sickness and every plague which not written in this book of the law, the Lord will bring on you until you are destroyed. So think about it. It's not just, basically in that one section, one sentence, it's, and if it's something else you haven't thought of yet, something else we haven't talked about, I'm going to bring that on you too. Which, I mean, think about it. What happened to the Jews during World War II? Hadn't talked about cooking them in ovens, right? Gassing them. Oh, but, experimenting on them, that was one of their other favorite side jobs that they don't talk about as much. They were used for all kinds of experimentations. Why? They were seen as having no value. So you have to see that all these things come about in time. That's why they talk about things happening in God's time. Because you don't know when God's going to come back and deal with you, or deal with your enemy. I mean, today we see all kinds of people that are prosperous drug dealers that are worth billions. And yet we still have people that work all day long and can just barely put food on the table. You have to sit there and think sometimes, when's God going to take care of this? In God's time. It may not be taken care of till that guy's dead. It may be taken care of by the end of the day today. I don't know. But the point is, in the end, God's the one that's doing the judging. Bottom line, he's the one that's going to come out and say, hey, I forgive you, it's okay. Or the one that says, oh no, what you did, it's unforgivable, lake of fire, hell, whatever you want to call it, you're headed there. Do you want to take that chance? I hope not. It just gets to me that it's so extreme in all the things that he's telling them. I'm going to do all these things to you if you disobey me, because he's offering them everything they could possibly want. He will bring back on you all the diseases of Egypt, of which you were afraid, and they will cling to you. I mean, that's just every sickness, every plague which was not written in the book of the law, the Lord will bring on you until you're destroyed. Then you shall be left few in number, whereas you were as numerous as the stars of heaven, because you did not obey the Lord your God. It shall come about that as the Lord delighted over you to prosper you and multiply you, so the Lord will delight over you to make you perish and destroy you. And you will be torn from the land where you are entering to possess it. And again, think about the number of people in Israel today versus the number they had at that time. We already talked about it before, that ballpark numbers had to be millions, right? By the time you figured in all the various ages, based on the math they give us from the count of the men over 20. So if you do that and figure out how many old people they had, how many young people they probably had, that'd be an amazing number of people. Moreover, the Lord will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, and there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone, which you or your fathers have not known. Again, did this happen? Did Did the Israelites stay together? No. And today, most of them, I'm an Ashkenazi Jew. What does that mean? That means you're an amalgamation. Nobody knows what you are. Why? Because you don't know what tribe you're from. They were supposed to know what tribes they were from. They're clueless. They were scattered. They didn't have their records. They didn't keep all this information. They didn't teach their children their ways. Even today, we're supposed to teach our children our ways as Christians, right? So we should be teaching them. We should be discussing this with them. Otherwise, how are they going to know? Among those nations, you shall find no rest, and there will be no resting place for the sole of your foot. But there the Lord will give you a trembling heart, failing of eyes, and despair of soul. So your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you will be in dread night and day, and you shall have no assurance of your life. In the morning you shall say, would that it were evening. And at evening you shall say, would that it were morning, because of the dread of your heart which you dread, and for the sight of your eyes which you will see. The Lord will bring you back to Egypt in ships by the way about which I spoke to you. You will never see it again. And there you will offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. Now, why would there be no buyer? They're going to be in such poor shape. They're going to be emaciated. There's nothing. They're just skin and bones, literally. Who wants to buy a slave for that? I mean, you're going to end up taking care of it. They're going to die in a week. You know what? That's what he's saying. He's going to put you in such a condition that no one would even pay you for yourself. No one wants you. No one wants to buy you as a slave even. Okay. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the sons of Israel in the land of Moab. Besides the covenant which he has made with them at Horeb, and Moses summoned all of Israel and said to them, you have seen all the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh and all his servants and all his land. The great trials which your eyes have seen, those great signs and wonders. Yet to this day the Lord has not given you a heart to know, nor eyes to hear, nor ears to hear. I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not worn out on you. Your sandal has not worn out on your foot. So again, everything's been taken care of. I mean, how long do y'all usually keep a shirt or a pair of jeans? What? Maybe you get 10 years if you're just wearing it occasionally. When you were younger, you had to wear the same 5 outfits all the time. Well, that lasts about a year or two, right? But there's 40 years. 40 years, no problem. You have not eaten bread, nor have you drunk wine or strong drink, in order that you might know that I am the Lord your God. Why? Because all they had to do was focus on him. What did he provide? He provided the essentials, what they had to have, not what they wanted to have. You may want a nice steak dinner, but you can't always have it.
He's providing quail, I would love that.
Yeah. They begged for food and, man, had plenty of it, didn't they? What was it, up to their knees? I mean, can you imagine that many quail? I can't, but I'd kind of like to. When you reach this place, Sihon, the king of Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, came out to meet us for battle, but we defeated them. And we took their land and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of the Manassites. So keep your word of this covenant to do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. You stand today, all of you, before the Lord your God, your chiefs, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, even all the men of Israel. Your little ones, your wives, and the alien who is within your camps, from the one who chops your wood to the one who draws your water, that you may enter into the covenant with the Lord your God and into his oath which the Lord your God is making with you today, in order that he may establish you today as his people, and that he may be your God, just as he spoke to you and as he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, not with you alone am I making this covenant and this oath, but both with those who stand here with us today in the presence of the Lord our God, and with those who are not with us today. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the midst of the nations which you passed over. Moreover, you have seen their abominations and their idols of wood, stone, silver, and gold, which they had with them. So that there will not be any among you, a man or woman, or family or tribe, whose heart turns away today from the Lord our God to go and serve the gods of those nations. That there will not be among you a root bearing poisonous fruit and woodworm. It shall be when he hears the words of this curse, that he will boast, saying, I have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, in order to destroy the watered land with the dry. All right, so what does that one mean? You all get that one? Basically, yeah, I heard what you said. I heard all Moses' blah, blah, blah. This is going to happen to you. But you know what? I'm going to do what I want. Everything's good. I've got everything I need. Now that I've got my land, I've got all these things that I want, why do I need to follow God now? I've got everything I need. That's what they're talking about. That's what they're saying, boasting. Okay, now I can walk in. I have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart. Because I know, hey, I've got everything I need, so I've got peace. No, but you're giving up God. God's going to get you.
That happens today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy with the way I'm living and the choices I've made.
Yeah.
They won't be someday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all, even if you're at the same age and same income level as somebody else, you can live completely differently. The one person is unsatisfied with everything they have. The other is completely content with their little tiny 1,000-foot house. And the other has a mansion. It's not enough. We've got to always be following Yahweh and be content with what he's given us, whatever that may be. Because it varies for everybody. Some of it's by our choices, some by people not following God. But we have to keep in mind, if we follow God, we're fine. Otherwise, we get the curse. The Lord shall never be willing to forgive him, but rather the anger of the Lord and his jealousy will burn against the man, and every curse which is written in this book will rest on him, and the Lord will blot out his name from under heaven. Then the Lord will single him out for adversity from all the tribes of Israel, according to the curses of the covenant which are written in this book of the law. Now the generation to come, your sons who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes from a distant land, when they see the plagues of the land and the diseases by which the Lord has afflicted it, will say, all its land is brimstone and salt, a burning waste, unsown and unproductive, and no grass grows on it, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Edom and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and his wrath. So yeah, think about it. Going back to nothing there, nothing will grow. It's like a desert. Salt, brimstone, that's it. A wasteland. All the nations will say, why has the Lord done this to this land? Why the great outburst of anger? Then men will say, because they forsook the covenant of the Lord, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. They went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they have not known and whom he has not allotted to them. Therefore the anger of the Lord burned against the land to which upon it ever curse which is written in this book. And the Lord uprooted them from their land in anger and in fury and in great wrath, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belonging to the Lord our God, but the things revealed belong to us and our sons forever, that we may observe all the words of this law. But all of this is predicated on them teaching the next generation, right? And if we compare that to today, do we have more people in church or less? I know less than when I was growing up. And to me, that says we're failing as Christians. Why? Because the next generation isn't being taught. Most of them don't believe and don't follow. And those that say they believe, their actions say otherwise. And it's sad.
I think in one of Garner's studies, over 60% of the so-called evangelical youth didn't believe that one way to Jesus.
Yeah. Which there's only one way. There's only one way to heaven. Only one. It has nothing to do with how good or bad you are. It doesn't matter what you've done. It's irrelevant. But people don't seem to want to believe that. It's like, oh, he's too bad. He'll never get in heaven. Well, it could change. Maybe you go talk to him about it. Everybody can change. I'm betting every one of you is not the same person you were 20 years ago. We all grow, hopefully. Some people go astray. Some people grow stronger in their faith. But overall, I think that we have to look around and see what's going on. You know, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, but if you back up and look, man, the church is getting smaller. This isn't good. I'm not talking about just ours. I'm talking about Christianity. I'm talking in overall terms here. We all need to be praying for a revival in this country, among other things.
And we're not raising up new pastors either.
No.
I know a couple of years ago when my pastor at the Triune came, he told us that the average age of the Southern Baptist pastor now is 62. 62.
Yeah. It's bad.
Where are the young ones that are going to come in and follow?
Yeah. Well, you really want to go into that, part of it's going to be how the colleges, even I'm talking about the Christian colleges, how are they handling it?
Well, even the seminaries, not just the colleges,
Yes.
the seminaries.
Yeah, but they've been infiltrated by other money. Hey, you know what? We'll support you. We'll give you a $100,000 for your seminary. All you have to do is say the gay is okay. $100 million right there.
When we were growing up and Donna went to Belmont, I was poor and I had to go to MT if she didn't.
Thanks a lot. That's where I went.
She could help me, but she wouldn't.
He's still asking about it.
But we had fill-ins that would come here a lot because it was a Christian school.
Yeah.
We believed in it. But now it's not a Christian school.
Correct. It's not, but that's because of money. For the love of money. Sorry, you're supposed to correct me on that. It's for the love of money. Because it is. That's what it's all about. Don't be mistaken, okay? This world is about the love of money. And the reality is, some of those seminary people are looking at it going, oh, that's $100 million. I could do a lot of good with $100 million. I just got to say one thing. I'll let one thing happen.
The reality is we came with nothing and we're going to leave with
Yep.
nothing.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely. But so many people are looking at here and now. And they think they can do good with evil money. It doesn't work that way. You let the evil in. So you're going to do it again. You got to stay away from that. I know it's easier said than done, but Julie and I watched a movie with a group of people several months ago, maybe a year ago now. But it showed, in particular, in various Christian universities and such, how the money flows in and how people change their views on what's allowed. In seminaries, how they change views on various things. Well, this is okay, and well, this isn't. And going against God within these organizations, yeah, the people that are coming out of them, no wonder they're not becoming pastors. They're being taught a lie, and what they're taught is a contradiction of the actual Bible, which is one of the reasons why when I teach in here, I don't use something else. I don't use somebody else's work. I use God's work. That's the only one I need.
Amen.
So, all right, we're going to go ahead and be dismissed after that. So next week we're picking up on, I think, 30, yeah, verse 1. Sorry guys, let me stop the recording here.